We got a full moon tonight, or almost a full moon. We're back up at the cabin. You guys are never gonna believe this when you see how much things have changed in 2 weeks. The woods are live with frogs mating. And when I first got up here and went inside, you can see I already turned the lights on. Last time I was up here, I believe it was, I have all the inside furniture, or the outside furniture in here, so excuse the mess. But last time we were up here, I think the inside temperature was about 42 degrees, and I thought that we were pretty darn warm. And right now, we're at a cozy 80 degrees. Oh, she's dirty. We went from 2 weeks ago when I was up here to maybe 3 weeks, whatever it's been, to where we had 2 feet of snow and was really cold, below freezing at night. During the daytime, we warmed up to, I think it was 40 degrees or whatever. We went straight into blackfly season. Oh, I don't know if you can see them all around me, but spring is definitely here. So blackfly season usually lasts about 2 weeks, and then we get our dragonflies out, and the dragonflies tighten them suckers up. They take them right out of the gene pool. So, all right, today, well, I suppose instead of me telling you what we're gonna do, let's head over to the car and we'll start unloading the car. So last year we wanted to test how much our little Harbor Freight solar panels could do. And I got a pretty good idea of what they could really do and what they can't do. So the Harbor Freight solar setup was okay for having lights, charging your laptop, and during the summer last year, even when the sun was out quite really long, we tried running a portable refrigerator off of it, and it worked out fairly decent. But we were really stressing our battery, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. So we want to start to have regular conveniences up here. I'm sick of running for ice to throw in our cooler. I'm not going to be able to run the Harbor Freight system to keep that little portable refrigerator going, during early spring and during the fall, and obviously, definitely not during the winter. So we went out and we invested in a new setup for the cabin, and I'm not going to do a solar video today, so I won't bore the socks off you with it. But It's something that's very essential for those of you who are looking to properly size your cabins and you want to know exactly what you can get out of your solar. I have had a real education here. Just got another black fly in my eye. They dive bomb your eyes. So anyways, I'm going to quick unload the car and I'll show you what we all have. Okay, folks, so this is pretty much everything that we're going to be using to give us energy at the cabin. And I know you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, hey, Carl, where's your charge controller? Where's your inverter? Where's all the different components to your solar setup? And solar really intimidated me. I was really unsure about how I was going to use solar here at the cabin when I really didn't have an education in solar. I did a bunch of book reading, did a bunch of studying of videos, and went to a bunch of different websites. Everybody knows Will Prowse. If you're into solar, the kid is a genius. He does a lot of really good videos with solar. And this was one of the solar setups that he tested that really caught my eye. This is the MPP solar kit. It comes with 4 200-watt panels. So each one of these panels equals the 8 panels that I have on top of the garage right now. So I'm going to have just 4 times the power that I had before. Instead of having your charge controller, the inverter, you know, you wonder, you know, on my inverter, do I want pure sine wave? Do I want modified sine wave? This has pure sine wave, which is very significant. That makes it so that you have a really consistent energy flow going through. You can run the most sophisticated electronics off of it, and you don't have to worry about them getting screwed up because of your solar. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have this. It's very basic setup. I'm not going to go into details today on it, but I'm going to do a video specifically just on this because I know a lot of my viewers also have tiny cabins, and this setup will have an abundance of power. We'll be able to run a 12-volt refrigerator freezer if we want to. We'll be able to run any entertainment stuff that we have, such as if we want to have a projector or have a flat screen TV or any of the modern conveniences that any other home has today. All that stuff will easily be able to be powered off of this. This is a 24-volt system, so I did make a purchase of a 24 to 12-volt converter. That was relatively cheap. I went with 24-volt system because it has far more power than what our last system had. The battery that I'm looking at for powering this system is going to be equal to 8 100 amp hour AGM batteries, and that's going to be one battery that I have. We'll have the same equivalency, so I'm excited because this is just knocking it out of the world for us solar wise. Today what I would like to do is I want to go ahead and take a walk on the property, and I am going to find a place where I can install a ground mounted solar rack. With the new panels, I want to be able to easily access the panels during the winter time if there's any snow or anything on it. Make it easy on myself for cleaning the snow off. And then I want to go ahead and take out a few more trees. We took out some trees this past winter. Today I am mapping the sun to find out exactly where the sun rises and where the sun sets, and that'll give me an idea of what trees all have to come down. So I've got my work cut out for me, and I think I'm going to head down to the lake too. Both my boys were talking about coming up to the cabin, and it sounds like they want to come up in the next week or two, so it'd be nice to have the pier in the water so that they can enjoy that. And it always makes for good photography too when you're out on the water catching beautiful sunrises or sunsets. So a lot of work that we have to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and finish unloading this stuff, set it aside in a secure place, and get to work. Okay, so here's the plan, Stan. This is what we're going to do. This spot that is dead space from these windows to the back of the cabin is where I'm going to put a solar rack. I'd like to go ahead and mount it permanently into the ground, and that's where we're going to put our solar bank. I feel good about having it there because it's out of the way. People aren't going to aesthetically see it. It's not going to be aesthetically unpleasing to the eye because everybody comes in from the other side. About the only thing that's going to see it are the deer and the wild game that travels on that logging road that I have on the back side of the property. And then the other thing that I'd like to do, and I'm not sure if I'll do it this weekend or if I'll do it when the boys are up here, is I want to go ahead and clear a whole bunch of trees. I've got about 30 small sized trees that I want to clear out on this hill behind you. And as I clear those out, my mapping of the sun today shows me those are just a few of the trees that are creating shade where my panels aren't going to get shade, aren't going to get sunlight. And I've got a couple trees on this side of the property that have to go as well. So we will have our work cut out for us, needless to say. But if I can get my boys up here to help me, I think it's pretty manageable. I'm pretty sure that I can do it. So hopefully things work out. I'm excited to work with them. Those guys, we do a lot of projects together, and as a team we know how each other works, and these projects are done at a pretty easy pace, and when everybody's working, many hands make light work. So that's the thing that we're looking at for this spring to start out our build project. Once I get that all done, I get the solar in, then we can go ahead and commence with the bathhouse. As you've seen in the beginning of the video, I went down to the well and I pumped out a bunch of water and put it in that orange bucket. Well, that orange bucket is my shower for today. I can't wait to use it. I've got my instantaneous water here at the off-grid cabin, and that instantaneous water heater will really make for a nice shower. All right, I don't know how well these are going to video, but I've got 4 holes dug for the solar, and you got to kind of know your frost levels. Here it's about 4 feet, 4.5 feet deep. So when you dig your holes, do it accordingly. And you can see in relation to the back of the cabin, here's where I'm at. So I'll be nice and close to the back of the cabin when I come in with my wires, and I should have pretty easy access to get to this. Okay, finally got these holes dug for the framework for the solar, but the shadows are starting to get long here, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Blackflies are going to start coming out again. I can already see them zipping around the camera, and they're already starting to show up here by me. But I'm going to quick go seek retreat by an area lake, and I'll take you along with me. Usually I get a pretty good wind that comes off this lake. It's a smaller lake, but you get the slightest of breeze, and it'll keep these flies away from us. And you know, not every day has to be work at the cabin. Sometimes we can go play a little bit. So I'll go down by the lake. We'll check out how the lake is doing, and then I usually like to walk over by the river too. Maybe I'll include a shot or two of that. That's a good time to kick it back on the old porch. It was kind of nice to get down by the lake and see the river again. Hope you guys enjoyed that footage. I know it's just so beautiful up here, but oftentimes the cameras just don't do it justice. So I wish I could have everybody up here to check out the cabin. It's just gorgeous. There's our first hummingbird for the season. I hope the camera picked him up. Yeah, he's a little guy. I just put that hummingbird feeder up about 5 minutes ago, so that's kind of cool to see that. I already got him coming in. But yeah, I'm excited to have the framework for what we're going to do this season. We got that solar that we can finish up here, and you know, that should only take me 1 video. I'll get that done. And then I think I'm going to start up with the well again in the back of the cabin. I'd really like to get a running well right next to the cabin. I'm already, I think, I can't remember if I was 40 feet or 45 feet down. But I'll give it another 10 feet and hopefully we hit some water that has a little bit of pressure behind it and it comes up a little bit. And then as soon as we figure out if we got water there, we'll go ahead and do the bathhouse. And if we get stuck with crummy weather this spring, well, there's always plenty of stuff we can do inside the cabin. Thank you so much for your support. And I appreciate, all those of you that have been following me for a while. All right, we'll catch you next time on Carl's Off the Grid.